Assume that we have a big text file. So it has like multiple lines of text, something. Now, if you want to search for some content within it, how do you search? We do a control F and we search. In every IDE and editor, we have some search options. So till now, if you didn't focus, even ordinary editor, ordinary notepad also, notepad plus plus, everything will have these options. So whenever you are searching for some value, you can search with different ways. So whenever you are searching, do you want to make case sensitive or case insensitive? Did you see? Match the case means it should be like exact ESD. If I do like a capital ESD, it will not match it. If I remove this one, then it will match. Means there is one flag for case sensitivity. And there is one more flag for exact word. Though you gave like ESD, there is no exact word like ESD, right? So that's why it is saying no match. If there is at least one word called as ESD, then one match is there. So there is a third flag called as regular expression. Every search will have this concept. What is regular expression? So instead of searching with the values, we can use some patterns. So A should be there, followed by A, they can be any character. The moment I did a star, you observe very carefully how things are working. Even empty lines are also getting right. If you see the highlights. If I do like a plus, now did you see empty lines are not coming? At the same time, if I do the same thing with a caret symbol in the starting, did you see? Though there are certain lines with the A present, but A is not the starting character, it's not coming. I will explain about each of the pattern, how it works. At the same time, if I do like, so dollar at the end means it's not, no such pattern is there. If I say like A, so if I remove that thing, did you see in which of the lines it is ending with A? Those are getting matched, right? So I'm just giving a garbage data for you, but just helping you understand. So there are like much better ways of understanding and analyzing these things. So for that, we have like different kinds of website. So regexpr, regular expressions. So these are like, pattern building sites. To start with, let me show that. Okay. So this is the most famous site which everyone goes. So these regular expressions are of two types basically. Regular expression means, so they made a name such that it is like something common across multiple languages. If you learn regular expression now, the same thing can be useful down the line in JavaScript, jQuery, or like Go language or Java or any other language you can work. But overall, the regular expressions are categorized as two families. One is JavaScript, which is the browser based, and second one is PCRE. What do you mean by PCRE? Means Perl compatible regular expressions. You may ask, sir, we are not working with Perl, but Perl is a language which actually made a lot about contribution regarding this regular expression. Slowly, other languages also added this. So Perl is very good with that. So most of the patterns we try to use in Python, but still there are certain things which are not there in Python, which are exclusively there in Perl. So like that, interfacing should be done. So we used a module called as RE to implement the same. But here also I will show. So mostly though you rule like PCRE, so the same thing will work. The main difference between JavaScript based regular expressions and ordinary is that it will have that, ./g is there, right? So that we cannot change, but it is there in the backend. So those. And did you see the flags? In an editor, so ordinary VS Code, I showed you only 3 flags, like case sensitive, so exact word match and regular expression, right? But here there are many other flags. So you have a lot of content, some numbers, some content, some numbers, something you have. Now, if I want to match a pattern, how I'm doing C. So if I say like A, did you see wherever A is there, it is coming? Or if I say like B, A should be there, after A, B should be there. It's not like that. Or like if you want to match A from A till B. So did you see when I'm writing a pattern here, it is showing the back down that it will match any value between A and B. Or if I say A to some H, between A and H, any character is there, it is matching. You can see the highlight. So similarly, if I say A to Z, all small characters. Similarly, if I say like capital A to capital Z, so wherever capital characters are there, they are matching, right? Or if I say like 0 and 1, between that, whatever is pattern is matching is coming. So, but why the 7, 5 so and so didn't come? Because 0 to 1 only we gave. If I give 0 to 9, see everywhere numbers are coming, right? So like that, every pattern is there. So every pattern has some importance. So now next I will explain each of the patterns and how to use. But there is a cheat sheet. So the patterns are of again subdivided based upon their usage. So so words like digits, spaces, by the name itself is saying. So till now we did a occurrence of. So we can check for the absence of. So means like if I say like A to Z, it will check for the presence of A to Z. But if before that, if I write a prepending, so it will say absence of it. But the same thing, if you place at the starting, it makes a different meaning. So this is called as a character operator. It makes a lot of difference whether it is between the square braces or outside. I will tell you that slowly afterwards. But you be aware, if you want to use for any of the languages, Python or any other language, you can write some text data and you can write a regular expression and you can check whether it is working. If it is working, you can use in your code. But it's not a good idea because like no company will allow their own text data to be exposed to the outside world. In that case, we have some kind of Python modules which can do a local utility and do the things. I will share that in the last. But if you want to be aware, so REGXPR is a very good site, followed by regex 101 and regexpr. So like the different sites are there. So whatever the ready-made things are there, for that they have a ready-made patterns. So cheat sheet is there, community patterns where everyone passes. Say like if you want to say password validation. Password is like a very unique thing for them, they do it. Or like we can, if you want to handle the phone number. So everyone makes and everyone gets a rating also, how far it is good. Because a pattern doesn't mean that it should match all. So everyone writes their own pattern to handle it. Let's say you are handling the phone numbers. You are in US, you try to write a logic to handle US numbers. So I try to logic for like some other country. So, or if your project is in such a way that all countries you need to match, you write furthermore. So the pattern you develop is also depending upon your use case. So lastly, so now coming back to the original code, what is the regular expression? How to start with it? So first to start with the regular expression, you need to be aware of the first thing called as RE module. So import, say like import RE. So RE, just RE. So this RE module, what we can do, if I do like a DAR of RE, you can see a good number of attributes, in fact. So the attributes, if I can list out, so yeah, TLS and Python, so and so. And did you know in Python, in especially Windows, there is something called as a, when you're installing, it will say Py installer. So till now, any Python program, how you execute Python space so and so, right? This is how you execute. But alternatively, you can do py and execute also. Means that py installer we say. So when you're installing Python, so these days it is coming automatically. I think from 3.9 onwards they introduced it. So it is there now. So 3. So fine. Either way execute, done. And did you see it has a good number of patterns, especially things which are having all capital letters, means they are some way constants. So and these are like the attributes. And if you ignore the things which are underscores on either side, but still you have a plenty of them. So let's see what we do with that. In those, the first thing is re dot match. What is this re dot match doing means? Let me take two strings. So if I have like one target string and one search string, means in the target string I need to find for this search string. So Python program is good for health. Does it have the word Python? That I want to check. How do you check traditionally without having regular expressions means? In traditionally in Python we have, as it is string has a find operation, or like in so we have a in operator also. So in both ways we can search whether something is present or not. So find will give the index where it is present. If not, it will give -1. Whereas in operator will give true or false, right? So that's how it works. But so then what is the point of going for regular expression, sir? We found like this also, right? What if you have a different case and you want a different case? Means you have a lower case, but you are okay either lower or upper case. Or like after that Python, there should be a number 1, 2, 3, anything you want to match. So like that, different kinds of complications will come, right? All those things, if you want to handle, that's where regular expressions comes. So regular expressions, when you want to work, there are 2 points. First, we need to create the regular expression pattern. For that, we need to create a pattern object, then use it. So whatever the pattern I want to do, I didn't write anything complicated like plus, question mark, all these things. Simple word called as Python. Now I need to find it. How I will do? So first I created a re.compile, will create a regular expression object. It will not find anything. If you see, so pya so and so, it is just creating a re object. It is saying that I am a re.pattern class. So I was created. Now, if you want the result, so this the regular expression object is there, right? For that object, you need to do dot match. You see, initial string you need to pass to compile and create an object. For that object, you need to do dot match and get it. So if you get it now, it will say something. So the result, it is saying that, hey, I found re.match. So where it found, so the span is from 0 through 6. The word, so Python is present between 0 from 0 till 6th position within this target string. That's what it is saying. If you want like individual results, we can get individual results from it like this. So if you do like a dot group, so whatever you found, you will get like Python. Sir, I asked for Python. When I did a group, I also get Python. Means like in this case, it's a very simple thing. But if you go down the line, things will be more complicated. Then this group results and all these things will be very valuable. At the same time, you see, span if I give from where till what position it is present. So explicitly also we can ask the start and end like that. Hope it's fine. So now this is about re.match. So whenever you give something, it is trying to find. Now a slight complication in this, whatever we are doing. So this time what I do, I take the same re module, same thing I am doing. Instead of a capital P, I wrote a small p. Earlier I wrote a capital Python, right? So now small p ython means the exact Python is not there, right? Python is a case sensitive language. Obviously, when we execute now with Python so and so, did you see what happened? In this case, things were very different. So did you see what happened? re dots, when you did a find, you got -1. When you do a search with the in operator, you got a false. At the same time, when you create a compiled object, that will come as what are the pattern. But when you see the result, that's where you'll understand. Earlier result is something, but result is now none. When result is none, you cannot ask for group. It will throw an error. If I don't write this condition and if I just evaluate them, so ignoring this, it will throw an error because this is the standard error everyone will get. So we should be prepared whenever you're writing for a pattern, whether it will be present or not. If not present, what do you want to do? If it is present, what you want to do? So if it is present only you want, in other case you don't want. That's the reason I wrote this if condition. If result means what? If result is boolean, true, means whenever it is not a null, so none, obviously it will be true, right? So only when you match, you get in. So that is how it works. Now, fine. So like this, if I go further, in the third case, here why we didn't match it? Because we have done a case sensitivity. So it asked for a capital, we gave a lower, that way it didn't work. By default, regular expressions are case sensitive. But if you want them to be case insensitive, we need to use a flag called as re.i or ignore case. Hope you remember I showed the flags, right? In the same fashion. So how we need to do now means, so I can do like this. Okay. I'm taking the previous example. Yeah. So I'm taking the previous example as it is, and I'm doing, yeah. So the previous example, the same find and all these things, CLS and Python, C so and so. So same like in the previous, you got an error. Now what the extra magic I will do is like, I can pass this compile is there, right? For the compile, I will pass one more flag, re.i or re.ignore case. Either one you pass, it works. For ordinary things, if you want to facilitate that, we need to ensure that this is lower, both are converted to lower case or both are converted to higher case, and you need to do that kind of jugaad. So we need not do that. So simply you pass this flag, it works. So you see, so now it matched and it gave it. So now if you give like capital or lower, in both cases it works. So the same thing I'm doing for like different kinds of edge cases. So if you want that kind of things to be working in an ordinary strings, so you need to comment it and write something like this. You see, now it will work, right? If I execute, both I am converting to lower and I am asking. So in this case it is working, but in other case it doesn't work. So if you want to facilitate this kind of way, so instead of getting this search string as a single value, we can take like a group of values. Means I took a tuple of values. For each of them I want to do. So now you see here, I'm asking within the condition. So for each of the value, it will take. So as I heard ignore case, whether you give like small Python, capital Python, Python all capital letters, or like Python some capital, some lower, it doesn't matter. All these cases, it is giving the value. So that is what I mean to learn. So how this was achieved? Because of having that flag. So now did you understand the difference between ordinary search and so in operator and this one? Definitely there is a difference, right? Next, going further to the next one, re.search. Basically, what is this search doing? So the same previous program I did. So extra what I did is like, instead of a match, I did a search. So what is this search doing, sir? What is the extra advantage we get? First, let's see with the previous match. Okay. So in this case, I have the word Python, which I want to find. So re.match, till now we are searching only at the starting. You remember? In all these examples, we are searching in the starting only, whether it is like capital or small or so and so. But we are not searching anywhere else. So, but you see here, in this case, CLS and Python, D so and so. Okay, somewhere. Okay, fine, leave it. Yeah, you see now. So same match previously we have, right? The exact match I pulled. It is working. But at the same time, instead of a match, I can use one more thing called as search also. Observe re dot regular expression object dot match of string, right? Exactly I did, but instead of match, I did a search. What is the difference between re dot match and re dot search? This is a standard question. Means like re dot match will try to find at the starting of the string only, whereas search can find anywhere. In this particular use case, you are trying to search in the starting only, right? So every time Python is in the starting. So Same like re.match, re.search also worked. So now let me write one more complication. So till now we are finding only in the starting. I told that re.search can do even in the middle also. So let's see how it works. To understand that how that works, re.search works. Yeah, re.search what it does? Yeah, sorry. re.search can help to find anywhere in the string, whereas re.merge only different. So re.match any so helps at the starting only, whereas re.search means anywhere. So the same thing goes here also. Okay. So now what I am doing here means like, so in this case, if you observe, programming is good in Python. The word Python is present at the end of the string. So now I am doing the same pattern using re.compile. I compiled. Then first I will go with re.search match, and then I will go with re.search. You see now what will happen. So if I go for the first re.match, in re.match I am trying to search C, CLS and Python so and so. Did you observe that when I did a re.match, I got nothing because it couldn't find the pattern. Whereas if I instead of a re.match, if I go for re.search, it will find it completely. The reason being, so our ordinary find and in operator can check anywhere, right? Like that. So match cannot search anywhere. It tries to find only at the starting. In this target string, there is a word called as Python. We also want to search for Python only. But why match will be fail? Because it is trying to search in the starting. Even if you have a white space before it also, it cannot search. So that's the reason search we can use for anywhere. But whenever you want to precisely do only in the starting, that's where we can use match. Now hope it is clear for you all. In which case we need to go for re.match, in which case we need to go for re.search. So next, after that, so till now you did a very good way of doing the things, uh, but it's a complicated thing. Every time we are creating a compiled object, and for that object you are doing a search or match. Now let me make that option quite easy and interesting. So let me show you that. Yeah, till now we have this option, right? First we have a source, we have a target, and we are doing a array.compile, and from that compile, so compiled object we are giving. So whether you want to be case sensitive or not, it's up to us. But finally we are getting the result, and we are asking Python so f so and so. So this is what's happening, right? So for anything, even if you don't want print also, that's up to us, but at least these two lines are needed for implementing it. Rather, if you want to do that in a single line, so then it would be, your life would be very easy. So what they say is that, so instead of these many lines, you can make the life easy by adding one line itself. So what they say, finally you need to store the result. You take the result is equal to, so first you're doing re.compile and then doing a search. Instead of doing that, directly do re.search. And whatever the search string is there, you give that search string so directly. So first you are giving a search string in the compile. When you are searching, you are giving a target string. So search string also you give there, target string also you give here. And whenever we have this flags, re.ir ignore case, that also we should give. Means everything in one line. Now don't you think your life would be very easy? So it's not complicated. But sir, in which case we need to go for this kind of thing? So if you have the same pattern, but if you want to do different kinds of operations, in that case, first create an object and use. But most of the time, people use this one, this pattern. So for you to better understand, in one line, I am rewriting with real values. So though I have this pattern here, I'm just rewriting here. So whatever I want to search, Python. So from which target string? This is the target string. I have a re.i. So like this only it will work, right? So from this, I can ask what is the result and I can get it. Hope it's clear. So these are like two ways in which we can perform the regular expression operations. So which one? Mostly the second one people will use anywhere if you go. Next, now we got to know how to quickly do very simplest way. Now let's go further into this re dot search and match and do the things extra there. Next, in this about the regular expression search. So till now we know how to do the pattern search, match we know. So but in the search in a single line also we understood. Now I want to add certain extra things. So there is one question that with re dot search, how do you work like re dot match? Means though you have like re dot search, which can search anywhere in the string, but you want to do only in the starting of the string or like only in the ending of the string. So if you want to do that kind of extra things, there are two patterns. Till now we learned about two functionalities. For the first time you are understanding the patterns. So traditionally if you see how you write a regular expression, first we import the regular expression and we write the pattern. I have something called as Python is a pattern which I want to check. So which I am searching here. So as I give a regular expression dot re dot ignore case, the cases were like ignored and you get the result. And it will work based on that. So CLS and Python G so and so. So you can see the pattern is exactly working as designed. We get it. So it found it between these durations and you got it. So I need not give again dot group and all these things because you understood the main concept. Now, if you want to ensure that it should be finding only at the end of the string. So means the word Python should be present only at the end. At this case, it is at the end only. But if you want to facilitate like that, I can go like this. If I say programming is good in Python, so fortunately it is at the end. But if I want to force that, I should do like a dollar at the end. So if for any pattern, if there is a dollar at the end, that should be the last word in the string. So if like that only, it will execute. In this case, if I write like the same example, like in other way, say like um, programming in Python is good. So something I wrote. Programming in Python is good. Something I wrote. If I write like this, it will not execute because it is not at the end. Similarly, if you want to facilitate to check only at the starting, so in that case, we can use re dot search of like this. So then it will try to search only in the starting. In this case, see the Python is present at the end, so it will not do anything. So, but if your word is at the starting, then it can do it. So this is same like using re dot match. Re dot search of if you place a caret in the starting or like re dot match, both will exactly do in the same way. If I facilitate these two by placing Python in the starting, then obviously they will work. So Python programming is good. If I say here also Python programming is good, if I do, it will try to find. So it works perfectly. Both will. So that is how they work. So this is all about these extra two flags, how they are helping. So, and whenever you found a result, we can ask the result. So whenever you found a result, you can ask dot group and all these things. And this one, so just because like I didn't tell, because every time when a group matches, you can do all these things. Similarly, so if you want to further facilitate it, the same thing can also be done alternatively. Means for the patterns also, they have alternative patterns. Same like, this caret and dollar symbol, we can do the other way also. So for that, they introduced two things called as slash A and slash Z. Means like these patterns are also there, like this also they are there. In fact, you can use in a notepad also to do all these tricks. So till now, what we know, using these patterns, we can do anything. If you want to facilitate something to be at the starting or end. So means I give like this. If I give like a dollar at the end, ABC should be the last. Similarly, if I say ABC, ABC should be at the last. In this case, ABC is not at the last because D is there in the last. That's why we got none. But in this case, ABC at the last. So exactly. So then you will get the result. In the same fashion, if I go for like one more example, if I want to facilitate something to be at the starting, so then what we do generally, so we can give something like this, right? So ABC should be in the starting. I have ABC, which is in the starting. I give like re.I, means ignore case. So then it will get it. Because as you place the ignore case. So it came it. In the same fashion, using the second way of doing, the same pattern can also be done alternatively using these things. Okay. So how we do? If I say ABC slash Z, means ABC should be the last character which is present. So ABC is at the last. So you get the result. When I did a dot group also, I get it. So whichever it was matched, it will give it. So similarly, if I say slash A, so before it, it means that it should be in the starting. So either these patterns or those patterns, either you can use as a whole. Hope it's fine. Next, in the same fashion, if you want making a patterns matching, so at the starting or end, we have fixed it. But how many you want to match? That kind of limits we didn't make. If we want to make that kind of limits, now the new one comes. So I told you four already. Now the new one. So like a character means something we should give till now, but for the first time you don't give any value. If you do like a dot, it can match anything for that matter. Except new line, it can match anything. So means let me give you a simple example. If you see here, I give like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. 5 dots means 5 characters. That character can be like alpha, numeric, anything, any special character or anything. So as I did a search, from the left to right, it will search. If it found anything, it will give it. It doesn't matter, right? So first values also it will give it. So if I see, did you see the first 5 characters you got? Now we see how I will facilitate. So if I'm trying to say that, explicitly also it tries to search from the left to right. But what if I want these 5 characters should be at the starting only? Means the first 5 characters only you want. In fact, indirectly also the same thing happening, but you can give that enforcement. So at the same time, if you want to facilitate that it should get these 5 characters from the end, so I can do like 5 dots followed by dollar. Then you see the last 5 characters you get. As good is like only 4 characters from white space onwards you got it. So like that we can facilitate. At the same time, what if I write both the things left? So starting and ending means what? Whenever you want to match that the target should be only 5 characters. If you want to restrict something, so especially when are giving like the password length or a username length, whenever or like some bank number, bank account number, these are all fixed things, right? If they don't want you to do more, so they will do this search like this. So that kind of you can limit the pattern. It shouldn't. So like that, whenever you have a value of this much size, you can get it. Similarly, if I want to match the four letters, so if the word is having like 4 letters, you get it. Or like say, if I go with one more example, say like see here. In this case, instead of big one, I'm just taking Uday. Uday, how many characters are there? 5 are there. As exactly 5 characters are there, it is giving it. So what else? If I give something different, say if I give like Udaya, it is like 6 characters. It is not exactly 5 characters, so you're not getting anything. And at the same time, you can do the same thing alternatively using A and Z, slash capital A slash capital Z. The same thing will be repeated. So if you give like a 5 characters, this works. So 6 characters, it doesn't work. So here also same thing, right? So if I give like just Udaya, exactly, so then it can give the value. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm working on Rust recently. Okay, if I see, first two you got it, next two you didn't get it. This is how you limit the patterns for anything. Okay, now you understood exactly how many characters. But sometimes you don't know like how many characters you're gonna get. So it would be like so difficult to get it. So in that case, you need to go for some very interesting concept called as pattern matchings with some kind of greedy and non-greedy patterns. How do you get the greedy patterns and non-greedy patterns? How to limit that? To understand this one, this is very important. We have a new kind of patterns, three where it's more, which is like star plus question mark. It's very important because it can change the entire regular expression concept in your mind. So till now you are finding for presence, absence of one character, like limit, all these things. But I will do this very differently now. Till now what we learned, match and search. I will use the same things first. You know match and search how they are working. So the left one is the search one and right is the target. So whatever you give, we need to find it. So that's what we did here till now. If I execute, both in re.match and search, they are working because you are trying to search in the starting. Now, I repeat the same thing, but this time, instead of one value, I will change the course. Now you will understand. This is a pattern, A, B star, and this is the target value. So did you see in the target one time A is there, AB is there, ABB is there, ABB is so and so. So what is this pattern doing? So till now, if you write any pattern, it will impact only that. But these three patterns will help to decide the previous value. What is previous to star? B. So what it is saying is that in this pattern, A should be there and B can be 0 or more times. B can be 0 or more times means B if it is not present also it works. So in fact, first line also works because B is occurring 0 times, but A is present, right? So here also A is present. For B only we are modifying. B saying like 0 or more times. One time it is present, 2 times, 3 times, or any number of times it can have. All these things patterns will work. If you didn't understand this, please stop me here itself. If you didn't understand, you cannot understand others. So I repeat again, if you write any time this star or so and so, it will affect the previous character. Means if I write like just B star, means what we are trying to say, this character B can occur 0 times. 0 times means it is not present also fine. If it is present also, any number of times it can be present. So, but before that I added a. For A, after A there is no star or anything. So A is a mandatory character. That's why in all the outputs, A is mandatorily present first, followed by B any number of times. So that's why it is working. Now, if I do the same thing, so with a pattern like this, say, I am going for this example. In this case, observe carefully what will happen. I wrote like A, B star, the same thing. A should minimum occur 1 times. So B can occur any number of times. But did you see in this case, A is not present, right? As A is not present when you're asking, it will throw in error. Did you all understand why it is not working? A should mandatorily present 1 time. B, so it can occur or not, it's up to us. Now, so to understand further, I write here only. After A also I rate a star. After B also I rate a star. Now what happens? A can occur 0 times. So B can occur any number of times. So any number of times, anything, any number of times. This is called as a greedy pattern. Greedy means you are not limiting, like how many times you want, what is that you want, all those things you are not limiting. You can get like any number of times. So, and if you want to be like this, you can go with it. But the problem is that sometimes when you have too many things, you should not touch it. So you should touch only till how much you need it. In those kind of cases, we should go for non-greedy patterns. So before even going for the non-greedy patterns, there is one more greedy pattern, but it is slightly different. So what this greedy pattern says is that instead of 0 times, at least 1 time. So minimum A, after A there is nothing. So A should be present, and B at least 1 time it should be present. So so A should present, B also at least 1 time. So that's the reason it wrote an error. Now if I go, it is something better than the previous one. So this can match even 0 times also, but this will match at least 1 time. So at least 1 time, after that any number of times. So that is the difference. And if I go for like something like this, what will happen? Now tell me. So if I have like A, B plus, A should be mandatorily present, right? So for A, you didn't write. So if you execute, it will throw an error. We know it clearly. At the same time, if I write like A, B star. So in this case, second example, see, A plus, B plus. In this case also, what you are trying to say? A should be minimum present once. B also should be minimum present once. Beyond that also, it's up to you. But A is not there, right? So this also will throw an error. So I hope it's clear. So fine. So this is how these are both are like greedy patterns. So first two are like greedy patterns. So we say, what is this non-greedy, sir? So let me see. If you want to be non-greedy, so this pattern will make it slightly different. So if I go for the previous example, which is a greedy enough, I will just use that last one called as question mark. This question marks makes it like non-greedy. How it becomes non-greedy, I will tell. Non-greedy means what? You should get how much you want only. You should not get too much, though there is present. So ordinary patterns, you know, right? RE dot math search, it's a very simple thing. But if you want to make it like non-greedy, I can write like this question mark. Observe carefully. So apart from the very first things, I am writing like this. A, which should be mandatory present. For B, 0 or 1 time only. Means after A is present, B is present 0 times. It works. A is present, then B is present 1 time. That works. B is present 2 times, 5 times. So unlike the previous case, if it is present any number of times also, it will not take all of them. Did you see what happened? So though it is present any number of times, it is not taking all the number of times. It is taking only how much it needs. So if I do like this B any number of times like this, it doesn't matter. It will take only B 1 time maximum. So did you understand? So how many times and how it is helping? So this is about the non-greediness. And now let me go back to this question which we started in the previous. If I say A, B question mark. So for after A there is nothing, right? So A should be mandatorily present. B can be 0 or 1 time. As A is not present, in this case also it will throw in error. Similarly, if I write the same thing in a slightly different way, means like if I write A question mark, B question mark. Now this works. A can present 0 or 1 time, B can present 0 or 1 time. So if it is present, it is taking maximum 1 time, like that. So hope you think it is interesting. At the same time, there is one problem here. This dot is there. So till now, the previous character is what? B or some other character I placed. For the first time, I am adding one more thing called as dot. Dot means what? It doesn't mean A, B or so and so. Any character can be there. That any character can occur 0 or any number of times. But first A should be there, because so for after A there is ordinary dot, no question mark plus or so and so. These greedy and non-greedy patterns will help facilitate the previous character in the pattern. So as after A there is no such thing, A should be mandatorily present, and after A you can have any character any number of times. So any character any number of times means what, sir? Means A, B I have, A, B so and so I have multiple times. It worked. At the same time, not A, B, A, R, A, M, M, A, N, K. I wrote like different patterns. So whatever pattern I wrote, it doesn't matter. It gave it. Now you can try the same thing with A star plus. That is like a furthermore greedy. So like this is a furthermore non-greedy like this. So if I do instead of a question mark here with a plus or a star, it would be like a crazily greedy pattern. But here in this case here, though you have any much things, it max takes like 0 or 1. So like that it will be helpful. So in the same lines, if you want to know this greedy and non-greediness differences, and if you want to summarize, so these patterns. So we already know these patterns, how they are working. Now we need to combine them. Means like I have plus, I have star, I have question mark, and you know dot. If I mix these two, these are like the most powerful greedy patterns. Any character at least one or any number of times. Any character 0 times or any number of times. This is like too crazy enough. These are the two greedy patterns. So that's the reason. So don't use this unless if you really need something. So if you see here, it can match any pattern. If I say A dot star, minimum A should be there. After that, you can have anything any number of times. If you don't have also, it will match. So that is how it works. Now, if I go for these patterns, you see here. So dot star, dot means any character except new line. Means if you have like multiple lines, again that thing's difference, I will tell you afterwards. But till that, everything it will match. If you see in this case, A, B star, after A should be mandatorily present, but after A, anything can occur any number of times. It is matching all the occurrences. So similarly, you know about this. If I give this example of this thing, we have done earlier also. A star, B star means A can occur any number of times, B can occur any number of times. How many times it is occurring, it will match anything. So after A, I didn't give B, I gave star. So after A, anything can occur. Even A also 0 times also it can occur. It can match that case also. And there were like some questions which were based on that. If you say like a dot star, can it match like an empty? Yes. This is most important. And dot star, yes, also match. Dot star, anything it can match. Sir, does it match any the alpha numeric and all the other characters? Yes. It has no comparisons, nothing, so it can go match anything. So till even a dot also it will match. Did you see? Yeah. Did you see here? It failed somewhere. Where it failed, did you see? In the last case, it got till 34 only. After slash and you didn't get anything. Did you see? So that is a point about dot operator. Dot cannot help you to go beyond that. So hope it's clear. So dot will help you not go beyond this. Did you see here what I am doing? I am doing a search. I am getting a result. For that I am doing a group. Instead of doing in two separate lines, I am doing them together. Now, so for this, I have one more flag called as a dot all. So dot all flag will help you to find the values beyond that. Now, did you see that? So both came. As there is slash n, when you're printing, it will not come directly, right? So it will remove that thing. So that's the reason. So slash n when it is printing with a print, it will do. So you don't see it is an escape sequence. So that's what happened. Now, did you understand the importance of dot all? Dot all is another flag. So which will help. I think dot all has a short form of dot s, I guess. So dot s or dot A dot all. Yeah, both works in the same way. Either you give dot all or dot s. So both are for the same purpose. In the same fashion, if you want to facilitate, so the other patterns, you see, I can give a couple of other examples. You see now. So dot star, as you know, it can match anything. So dot plus can also match anything? No. Dot plus cannot match a empty because dot plus expects at least one character, right? So whereas dot star plus, it expects at least one character. If it is present, it will match. Till now, you learned about all the greedy patterns. Now coming to the last leg of the non-greedy patterns, means these are like dot star, dot plus, so and dot star. Similarly, I can have dot question mark also, right? So the moment dot question mark is there, any character except new line, so it can match 0 or 1 time only, right? So any character except, so 0, how many times? 0 or 1 time. So number of times, 1 time only. So like that restriction is there. So once this restriction come to place, everything will change. You see now what will happen? So it can match even empty also because 0 times. 1 time also it will match. You can have any number of times also. It will do only what it can do. That's it. So now the real time use cases, especially when I'm doing web scraping, this is very much useful. So what I will do is like, so if you see here in this case, this is a very good real use case I get. I wrote empty first time in the search. So when I gave a search empty, will it match anything? When I gave initially empty. So empty means it will not find anything, right? So nothing, you will get it. So but if I give some pattern like, hey, give me slash h1. So if I give like a h1, now if you see in this case, it is giving the first occurrence. re.search will go and give it. Whereas if I give like a dot dot, now it should give like h1. So did you see that it gave h1 because the opening brace should be there. After that, two characters should be there, and after that, closing should be there. So the first one exactly matched. It gave it, right? So this is how we know what is the thing. Now I will tell you in this case what happens if you have a greedy pattern. In this case, it is an ordinary thing, not a greedy, not a non-greedy. So if you have a greedy in this case, instead of a dot dot, I wrote like a dot plus or dot star. Then what will happen? Instead of fixing with the first occurrence, it will check any other pattern which can match. So even this also has a closing brace. This also has an opening brace, right? So it will match the entire tag. So this will match the entire tag. So that is the difference between greedy and non-greedy patterns. Now in the same case, if I go for a non-greedy, so for the same thing, if I go for a non-greedy, if I do it's like a dot star, so dot plus question mark, means a greedy pattern. If you want to make non-greedy, did you see what I'm doing? Dots plus I did minimum 1 time it should be there. After that, if it is present, max only 1 repetition. So did you see it's a combination? It's not dot star directly, dot question mark directly, dot plus question mark. So it will match the first occurrence so of it. Now did you see? So it matched only the first occurrence like this. So like that. So anytime if you want to match any pattern like this, you can use it. So the last point I want to tell and I want to close is, you next use one more thing called as a numbers, because it's called as a digits. If you want to find the digits, so if you want to do, whenever slashes are there, it's a best practice to write a R before it, such that it will not be escaped. This is a best practice basically. Whenever you have a slash parameters. Next, I will show you all slashes. You see slash A I showed you, right? But that slash is different. For slash A, you have slash like this. But now the other slashes will be like slash B, slash D, like this you will get. Whenever this kind of slash is there, it's better write as R before it. But this slash D will say about digits. If I do like just a slash D, I will get the first digit because it will go from left to right. If I do slash D star, all the characters it is matching. Slash D question mark, so means 0 or 1 match like this. So hope you understood the difference between So this and that. At the same time, in real world, if you see, so you will be given a big sentence. You need to find the numbers. So you want to calculate the total amount of transactions happened. So in that day. So you need to read the entire text file, get all the numbers, and you need to combine them together. So like this you need to do. Now, based upon this, small assignment for you is that, so in the email validation, you can search email validation afterwards also. But what I want you to do is like, in the emails, I have given one of the example for you. So try to write a pattern to find any of the emails from it. There are multiple emails here. If you can observe carefully, this is one of the email. So at the same time, this is another email, and this is another email. So this is another email. So this is another email. So you need to write a pattern such that it can go and find all these patterns to you. Okay. So this is assignment for you. So we can start.